begging you not to go. Call your name 2-3 times in a row. Such a funny thing for me to try to explain. How I'm feeling, my pride is the one to blame. Cause I know I don't understand just how your love is doing, no one else can. Got me looking so crazy right now. Your love's got me looking so crazy right now. Got me looking so crazy right now. Your touch got me looking so crazy right now. Got me hoping you page me right now. Your kiss got me hoping you save me right now. Looking so crazy, your love's got me looking so crazy, your love. When I talk to my friends so quietly, who you think he is? Look at what you did to me. Tennis shoes don't even need to buy a new dress. If you ain't there, ain't nobody else to impress. It's the way that you know what I thought I knew. It's the beat in my heart skips when I'm with you. But I still don't understand just how your love is doing, no one else can. Got me looking so crazy right now. Your love's got me looking so crazy right now. Got me looking so crazy right now. Your touch got me looking so crazy right now. Got me hoping you page me right now. Your kiss got me hoping you save me right now. Looking so crazy.
So the way that we met, my sister and her husband had actually hung out with Wally before I knew him at a party, and shortly after that, Amy and I were looking through some Facebook photos, and I said, "Oh, who's that guy?" And she said, "His name is Wally, he's the life of the party." And I thought, "Oh, he's pretty cute and he looks fun." So about 6 months later, I get a private message from him on Facebook, and he was thanking me for borrowing a phone charger from me over at the house. And then at the end of our conversation, he told me that my bedroom was quite messy, and everybody knows that it's a little quirk that I have with messiness.
Yeah, then she did invite me downtown Minneapolis to Sneaky Pete's. One of her friends was having a birthday party. And I came out, and we discovered that we actually have a lot of mutual friends. So it was kind of shocking that we never ran into each other previously to that.
Then come on, girl, ready to play, let's have it, know that thing in the day, in the land of...
So we met up 4 days after Sneaky Pete's, and I just kept thinking, what promotes love and peace? And I thought, tacos. So we had our first official date at Acapulco's.
Yep, and I remember we sat in the booth for about 2.5 hours, and we talked and talked and talked and got to know each other, and it was just so easy to talk to him. It felt like we knew each other forever. And then after that day, we truly were inseparable, and that was almost 7 years ago, September 2nd, 2009, and here we are.
I've seen the world, done it all.
She's one of the most beautiful people I know. What brings her to a captivating level to me is her strength and independence. It's just breathtaking to me every time.
So the things that I love most about Wally, he is the most spontaneous person I've ever met. He just brings a spark to life sometimes in the times that you need to pick me up the most. He's very charismatic, very unique person, and he has the biggest heart. He's so giving, and he never forgets anything that you tell him. He remembers every important detail. I think for a physical attribute, the thing that I love most about him is probably his hair, and I think it's probably his favorite thing as well.
Will you still love me when I'm no longer young and beautiful?
So the moment that I realized that Wally was the one, it actually happened really quick. And I had this red journal, and I wrote in it about 2 weeks after we first started dating, and I just wrote that this is the guy I'm gonna marry, and I knew it. I feel like my whole life I had been looking for a type of guy that maybe didn't exist, with the type of traits that I was looking for, the uniqueness and the depth of character that I really wanted. And I found it with him, and right away I just knew that I couldn't let this guy go ever again.
For me, it had probably been about 6 months, and I can remember telling my dad about it. That whole 6 months was just a lot of fun. We talked for hours. We were adventurous. We did a lot of things together, and it just kind of all set in on me at one time. And from that point forward, I just knew it was lights out.
Will you still love me when I got nothing but my aching soul?
So I saw the ad for Beauty and the Beast coming to the Orpheum downtown, and I knew that that was going to be it, because everyone has their fairy tales. So then I contacted the Hennepin Theater Trust, and everybody there was on board with it. The only obstacle in the path was that it was a Disney production, so they had to get the approval from Disney for them to take part in it. Wednesday, they gave the approval. That Friday, March 13th, is when the proposal there actually happened. We met John and Shelley at Rock Bottom Brewery, and in hindsight, Ashley noticed that I hadn't eaten anything the whole time I was there except for a couple nachos, and she thought that was pretty strange because I'm always eating even when I'm sick. So then during the play, the whole time, John kept poking me and nudging me, asking, "Big guy, is this gonna happen yet?" And I just kept telling him, "John, it's gonna happen. Just calm down. You know, make me nervous." So then, sure enough, the time came, and that's when the proposal happened.
So as soon as the production was over, there was a special Q&A with the cast, and there was a couple different questions, and everybody in the audience was super engaged and thought that this was a normal thing. But what we didn't know was that this was staged. They don't normally do this, so it was special. And then I remember the woman saying, "Okay, we have time for one more question," and Wally raises his hand, and I was so excited because there was kind of some special effect things going on with the character Chip, and I really wanted to know how they were carting him around in this little like tea cart across the stage, hiding his body. So I was so excited and thinking, oh, I hope Wally asks that question, how they pulled that off. I was so oblivious, I wasn't onto anything that was happening. As soon as he raised his hand, he stood up and faced me, and he takes a yellow Post-it note out of his pocket. And at that moment, I was sitting there going, oh my gosh, he is totally proposing to me right now. And it's just this surreal moment. I was just so in shock, because you wait your whole life for this to happen, and then when it actually happens, it's like, is this for real? I was so nervous that I don't remember anything that he really said. There's just one thing that sticks out in my mind. I remember him saying that I was the best military girlfriend and support system that he could ever ask for, and the rest was just a blur. All of a sudden, right afterwards, I turned to my left, and there was a photographer that the Hennepin Theater Trust had set up for us. And then I looked to my right, and his best friend Josh and his girlfriend Janny were standing there with champagne glasses and a sign that said "She Said Yes." And then we found out that they had Josh hiding in the closet. right before he came in, so we laughed about that afterwards. And then right after that, we all went outside, and there was a car waiting for us to take us to this swanky little bar called the Third Bird. And Wally had set it up so that my Aunt Vicky was there, and my best friend and her husband were there to congratulate us. And it truly was the best night of my life so far. It was completely amazing, and definitely a night to remember. And I don't think that my heels stopped wobbling until we got home. The funniest part, when we got home, I remember taking a photo of him because he was completely passed out, boots up, so exhausted. This poor guy was probably so nervous the whole entire day. And I remember asking him, what are you doing with these little socks with holes in the toes? And they have little beer mugs on them. And he said, those are my lucky socks. I had to wear those. It was the funniest thing. But it was just picture perfect.
Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond. Fine light in the beautiful sea. I chose to be happy. You and I, we're like diamonds in the sky. You're a shooting star, I see, a vision of ecstasy. When you hold me, I'm alive.
So Jim and Mary is definitely our most memorable experience. We were at a bar, local asked us if we were there for a wedding that was going on when we were just there four-wheeling. We weren't there for the wedding, but I got the great idea. We did go to it. I knew it was probably the best loving redneck wedding that I've ever been to. When I saw the sheet cakes from Cub Food stacked on top of each other, lopsided, and two golf balls that said Jim and Mary.
Yep, so we grabbed our food, we went to sit down, and we started talking to this lovely couple. And the husband was asking us how I knew Mary, and I had started talking about how I worked with her, and he said, oh, you're a nurse, that's so cool. Well, I started talking a little bit too much. It was getting a little bit awkward. And all of a sudden, Wally picks up his plate, books it, and I grab my plate. I'm like, oh, excuse me, I think he went to get some more beer or something. Followed him, and I was like, Wally, where did you go? And he said, oh my gosh, they are onto us. You were talking way too much.
Yeah. So then we stayed, had some fun. I gave the groom a hug, told him congratulations, good old Jim. And then as we were leaving, we had to walk around this big pond to get back to the four-wheeler, so all the guests saw us. They said, where are you guys going? I just told them we left the gift on the four-wheeler, and we were going to get it and bring it back. And we never went back.
You know, best memory ever. So much fun.
We're like diamonds in the sky. I knew that we'd become one right away. Oh, right away. At first sight, I felt the energy of sun.
Our 5-year plan is that we would like to buy an 1800s era Victorian home here in Stillwater and raise our family.
And we want 3 kids. We're super excited about that.
3 kids?
3.
Kidding. We do want 3 kids.
We do. We've had the names picked out forever.
And we're pretty adventurous. We love camping, kayaking, hiking. So Jeeps are definitely in the future.
We both want a Jeep, so we were fighting over if we have the same color or different colors, but I think it'll work out. And then we also want to get a little furry sister for our dog Simon. We want a Labradoodle because Simon's really small, so we want a big dog. And Wally wants to name her Lucy.
Banana colored.
We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Eye to eye, so alive. We're beautiful like diamonds in the sky. Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond.
thanks to everybody for coming out tonight. Not only the first drink we ever had together, and 30 seconds of meeting was a great babe. I'd like to cheers to that. We hope you have a good night and a good evening. Thank you for enjoying the celebration of life with us.
Cheers to the Roaring Reynolds.